Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad AKIF Aiman bin Muhammad RAZALI, and I am on my behalf of my group, which are group 10, are going to present about our movie, which is Samaritan. This group consists of 4 people, which is me, Muhammad AKIF Aiman bin Muhammad RAZALI, Muhammad HAZIM bin HALIM, Muhammad Aiman Faris bin Muhammad Asri, and Muhammad ILHAM bin ZABIDI. So now, I am going to start with the synopsis of the movie. Samaritan is a superhero film that was produced in 2022. This movie was directed by Julius Avery and written by Bragi F. Shad. It was previously adapted from the Mythos Comics graphic novel by Shad, Mark Oliver, and Renzo Podesto. This movie was about a 13-year-old boy named Sam Cleary suspect that his mysterious and reclusive neighbor, Mr. Joe Smith, is actually a legend hiding in plain sight. 25 years ago, Granite City superpowered vigilant Samaritan was reported dead after a fiery warehouse battle with his rival, which is Nemesis. Most believe Samaritan perished in the fire, but some in the city, like Sam, have hope that he is still alive. With crime on the rise and the city on the brink of chaos, Sam makes it his mission to coax his neighbor out of hiding to save the city from ruin. Next is the main villain and the hero part. The villain in this movie is Below Aspect, or as known as Cyrus. He is the leader of a criminal element that's hell-bent on taking over the city and realizing the original plans of the villain, which is Nemesis. Next, the hero in this movie is Sylvester Stallone. In this movie, he played as a role of Joe Smith, aka Samaritan. The character is an old and broken man who looks back on his superhero career with a mixture of nostalgia and remorse over how it ended. Next part is about the main stakeholder and also their stakes. The first stakeholder is Cyrus. The first stakes for Cyrus is for his power and control, which he does not want to be threatened by Samaritan. Cyrus is a very powerful man. He has control over the criminal underworld and the city government. If Samaritan is allowed to exist, it could threaten Cyrus' power and control. Secondly, he wants to maintain his reputation as a respected man. This is because Cyrus is a very feared and respected man. If Samaritan defeats him, it would damage his reputation and make him vulnerable to his enemies. The second stakeholder is Joe Smith, or as known as Samaritan. The stakes for him is his own safety and the safety of his loved one. If Joe's secret status as a Samaritan is discovered, he and his loved one may become the target of criminals or anyone looking to take advantage of his abilities. Besides that, he also wants to seek for redemption from the mistake that he was made in the past. He is a man who has lost his way in life, and he must find the strength to become a hero again. He must also learn to trust and rely on others, something he has not been able to do in his past.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman Faris bin Muhammad Asri, and now I am going to cover about the ethical dilemma of the hero and the villain, and the actions taken by the villain in the consequentialist point of view. The ethical dilemma of the hero and the villain in this movie is the question of whether or not violence is ever justified. The hero, Samaritan, is a vigilante who uses violence to fight crime and protect the innocent. Meanwhile, the villain, Cyrus, is a terrorist who uses violence to achieve his own goals, which include seizing control of the city and establishing a new world order. So for the Samaritan's ethical dilemma, Samaritan used violence to protect the innocent and reduce crime. This is a good thing, and it is something that most of the people would consider as to be morally justified. On the other hand, Samaritan is also killing and harming the others. This is a morally controversial thing to do, even if it's done in the name of protecting the innocent. Meanwhile, on the Cyrus ethical dilemma, Cyrus used violence to achieve his selfish goals and to harm others. This is clearly morally wrong. On the other hand, Cyrus may argue that his use of violence is necessary in order to achieve the greater good, which is to creating a new world order, which he believes that everyone will be better off. However, this is a very dangerous argument, and it is the one that has been always used by many tyrants throughout the history to justify their own atrocities. So, for the actions taken by the villain in the consequentialist point of view. The villain in this movie, which is Cyrus, is a consequentialist who believes that the ends justify the means. He is willing to kill and destroy in order to achieve his goals, which are to expose Samaritan as a fraud and to establishing a new world order which he is in control. So here are the list of the villain's actions in the movie from the consequentialist point of view. He exposed Samaritan as a fraud in order to discredit him and undermine the public's trust in superheroes. He kills several people in order to achieve his goals. He's also destroyed the city's infrastructure in order to create chaos and instability. He attempts to seize the city's government in order to establishing a new world order. Cyrus' actions are based on the belief that the greater good is more important than the individual. He believes that his actions are necessary in order to create a better world, even if they mean harming people in the short term. However, Cyrus' actions are also controversial because they involve killing and destruction. Some people may argue that Cyrus' actions are justified because it is necessary to achieve the greater good, while the others may argue that his actions were wrong because it involved harming innocent people.
Bismillah, my name is Muhammad HAZIM bin HALIM. So the next slide is actions taken by the hero from a deontology point of view. So what happened in the scene is a boy is running away from a group of bullies. Then he get caught in front of the Samaritan apartment, which is the hero's apartment. Samaritan saw them and he saw the boy getting bullied, and he helped the boy even though he can just walk away and mind his business. So after a couple of fights, what happened next is one of the bullies tried to stab him with a knife. He grabbed the knife and he broke the knife. He got the superpower which is invincible and strong. So he grabbed the knife and broke the knife. He got angry with the bullies and almost tried to kill him, but he did not. He controlled his anger. Before we apply the deontology point of view, let's talk about what is deontology. So apart from the consequentialists focus on the outcome, whether the action is negative or positive. It focus on the outcome, the consequences. But deontology is focused on the moral value, the actions. Doesn't matter about the outcomes or consequences. So applying the deontology point of view in this scene, Samaritan helped the boy even though he don't have to. He can just mind his business because there's no benefit in him. He do what his duty, which is save the weakened. He has the special power and have the power to save the weak. Next is when he got angry, he can easily kill the bullies, but he did not. He controlled his anger. What he did is with good ethical value and he didn't become a killer. Next is the ethical action based on the golden rule we have taken if we were in the villain shoes. So what is golden rule? Golden rule means the principle of treating others one wants to be treated, or the golden rule, do unto others as you have them do unto you. In simple word, which is treat others how you would like to be treated. Next, if we were in the villain shoes. So let's first talk about the villain actions. The villain is Cyrus, which is aka Nemesis. So what he like to do is he like to spread anarchy, and he want to be the ruler of the city. What he do is spread anarchy, doing some damage, vandalism, probably bribe. Then that is wrong.
If we were in the villain's shoes and applying the golden rule, what we do is we empathize with the citizens. Put yourself in the shoes of the citizen who are affected by the anarchy. Consider how their lives are disrupted by the fear or the harm may they be experiencing. We wouldn't want to live in such chaotic environment. So consider the well-being and safety of others. If we in the villain shoes, we consider their well-beings and we want to harmony environments. Moreover, he like to spread anarchy, right? So what we do is we promote peace and order. Instead of creating anarchy, consider actions that promote peace and cooperation within the city. So we encourage the sense of community and unity rather than division and chaos. Other than that, applying the golden rule, we will offer a positive contribution. Remember, Cyrus wants to be the ruler and have the power. So instead of destructive actions, consider how we can make a positive contribution to the city and the community. This might involve maybe probably volunteering, supporting local initiatives, or working toward positive change.
For the feelings as the villain, if I were in Cyrus' place, I will not set myself as a new nemesis and started a chaos. Instead, I will hand the head hammer, to the police station to avoid any bad circumstances. Second, I would feel terrible for being the cause of one of the cops' death with the blackout bomb. And lastly, I would feel remorse for get into a fight with Joe, as it will get me killed. For the conclusion, first one is loners have their reason for hiding. In this movie, Joe at first isn't that keen about this kid or the possibility of being exposed publicly. In this character, Stallone wears painful literal and figurative painful parts, bruises on every inch of his broad frame, from his slow gait and weather voice to the scars of burnt flesh on his very body. The actor plays this trait brilliantly. Joe has his reason for hiding, and they are greater than Sam can imagine. Naturally, it is whether or not those reasons are good or bad for the man and the community he occupies. Next is a good and bad mentorship. Like stray dogs finding each other, Sam becomes a good influence for Joe, running parallel to gang pressure of Cyrus. Joe helps Sam learn to defend and stand up for himself while having the iron of his heart slowly melt in the presence of a true believer, encouraging him to get involved in the urban strife. This appreciable relationship between Joe and Sam is more of Samaritan's core than the superpower transgressions. For the last one, the lesson that we learn in this movie is the decision you make add up. The Passing of Samaritan, written by Brady F. Shute, Escape Room, Season of the Witch, define slow place in the culmination of breaking points. Cyrus' damage cloud needs to be stopped, and Joe can no longer remain passive or neutral. All while everyone's safety dangers precariously on the verge of another collapse. If Joe reignites that inner fire he knows is a raging blaze that cannot be easily stopped, and the kind of heat that magnifies all sins, from that place of legends long broken road, Samaritan unleashed a climatic twist for the age that changes everything. Thank you.